Okay, so we are doing pegs. I have a viola here that will go to, soundpost is collapsed. This will go to the early music festival in Boston in June, so I have plenty of time. But I've already heard it and it sounds great. It's actually, it's sounding good. It has a willow back with high arching. It's a good viola. It's 40 centimeters, so kind of, anyway. But I already did pegs for it, and I suspect that some heavier pegs is gonna bring out some of the darker characteristics. So the ones that I did, I got a bunch of pegs in here. Hey, look what I found. The great luthier. Buy his instruments. I got a bunch of pegs in here, and some are factory and some are made by myself, or yeah. So if you're gonna get factory, do not buy the cheap, crappy ones from India and China. There's a lot of, once you have a Facebook page, you're gonna get a lot of friend requests from some of the pegs from India are fine, but if you're gonna use factory, it's better to buy Auto Temple or German. The ones from Gotz, Conrad Gotz, you can get at Tolman, and those are pretty good. These are from Cremona Tools. They're also fine. The main thing is that the ebony be very even and very dense and hard, with no blonde spots, or because then it's not going to be, it's going to be hard to cut. So I'm suspecting that the heavier ebony pegs are going to bring out more character in the tone. So I'm just going to try that. As like I said, I had some low altitude cherry. Most makers have this one, and I believe that you ordered that one. And this is 20 years old. I've tried to sharpen the blades, but finally I just got this Wittner, and I'm pretty happy with it. You can spend 500 on a peg shaper, and I would say go for it. There's a few brands. There's one Italian one, I can't remember. But the hardest thing to do is going to be dialing this in. It's going to be really hard. You're going to be crying, suffering, and cursing. But basically that's done. I can show you briefly. I've got I've got a few different reamers, and I believe they come in 120 conus, 125, and 130. So you want to just match. You're gonna have to dial this in, and it's gonna be a bitch. And the way to start doing that is to put your reamer in, loosen this, and then once the blade becomes free, and it can kind of move, and you can adjust it. So what you're trying to do is adjust it exactly to this reamer, And the problem is that the reamers aren't always like perfect, So there's a lot of finessing that you're going to have to do with moving this blade. And once you get it dialed in, then you're good. It just takes a long time. And I have a brand new one that I'm keeping like nice and cozy in his little habitat here. So let me show you probably best to do it on, this is a scroll that I'm not happy with. It's just a little too freaky. I mean, there is a limit to the amount of freaky that I love freaky, but so let's say that you've got it dialed in. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use the Wittner. Yeah. And the if you want to get the Wittner, I would say it's okay. I mean, the cool thing about it is it has these guides. So this plastic guide helps you to dial in the blade, you know. But even then, it's not easy. Like, you follow all the instructions. I remember just like, what? You know, I mean, you know, I understand what it's saying. I mean, you know, and I understand the concept, but it's just hard, you know. So, yeah, so let me show you. So you take your brand new peg, and you have this dialed in, and you've tested it on a bunch of dummy pegs. That's why on your tool list, I said buy a bunch of cheap junk ones that you can practice with. So then you're just this is dialed in, and it has a sort of plastic insert in, right? So then it's just kind of like sharpening a pencil, but your posture is important. You know, you want to keep it very level. You don't want to do up like this or down like this. Put yourself sort of horizontal with it so you can, you know, and then it's just kind of like sharpening a pencil, you know. No, okay, nein, das geht nicht, ja. Then it's kind of just like sharpening a pencil. Very slowly reaming your peg. This is called a peg reamer. What? Okay. And this gives you an idea. When you're dialing in your blade, if your shavings are too thick, then it's wrong. You know, these are nice thin shavings. They're like paper thin, and that also means that the blade is sharp. So yeah, like a pencil shaver, right? So then you're going to get to a point, probably, where you have this like ridge, you know, and it wants to break out. You see that? Yeah, if you keep going, there's a chance that it's going to kind of break out. So what you got to do is take your sharp knife, and you want to take it and make a ramp. You know, like, let me show you. You know, it's like you're taking away that breakout part. Very slowly, carefully. And that makes like, I can't show you, I need to just do this. I could probably sharpen this knife too. Right? Yeah, I should probably sharpen this knife. But you see that it's like smoother now. There's not that breakaway part, right? So then you take your scroll, and you can do this first, and you remount the hole. So this is important. Remember, like, your pegs go in this way, this way, this way, and this way. But when you're starting out, you take your reamer and you just open it up on the outside, because that way, on both sides, Not a lot, just a little bit. That way, when you come through, and I'll explain in a second. So, right? Don't forget, it's actually easy to do, to go the wrong way. You know, I mean, if you have Alzheimer's. Right? So we're this way, and this way. So it's coming in, the peg is coming in this way. Yeah? You just get it started. And when you're getting it started, you make sure that you're nice and parallel. You're not crooked this way, you're not crooked this way, obviously. Yeah. So now, the reason I did it from this side, even though the peg is not coming this, is so I don't get any breakaway here, you know, on this. Because when you're coming through, a lot of times it will chip here, and you don't want that. Yeah, so. So then you do nice, confident turns, yeah? And when you're close to where you want, you do the reamer backwards, and it burnishes the, you know, this smooth part here sort of burnishes the insides of the peg holes, right? Wow, this wood is really soft. It's another reason I didn't use it, yeah? So, yeah. So I can go a little bit more. And also a trick you can do is once you do the first one, then you can put a piece of masking tape on your reamer that, you know, that gives you a visual guide, you know, how far it's going in. So, yeah. Actually, this is the wrong one because I'll just use the new one because the Wittner is dialed into this, like, it took me 2 days, really. I was just like, what the is going on with this thing, this plastic piece of, you know, but it's actually pretty good for the price. Right, oh yeah, that's like butter, yeah. So, this is the hair dim tin coated. Let me check something. Yeah, okay. Right, and then backwards to burnish. And actually you can, burnishing, that's something to remember, is that when you're burnishing going backwards, it actually goes in deeper. So you do the last part of just backwards. Is this my peg? Which one am I working on? So you also need to have more coffee. Oh, it's the one with the, well, this one is actually closer, so for illustration purposes. Right? Keep your body straight. Okay? Now when you get to the end, the peg should be nice and smooth and, you know. When you get to the end, you have the collar here, and what you want to do is make a stop cut. So the way to do that is to drink more coffee, get inspired by your terrible cheesy synth pop, and I'm looking for, oh, we can just do it here. So I make a stop cut right along the collar. With your sharp knife. Man, that smells good. Who eats garlic for breakfast? Who's in there cooking something with
mushrooms?
Okay, what is, okay.
Mushrooms and eggs.
Eggs with garlic?
No, in the mushrooms.
Oh, in the mushrooms. Oh, okay. I mean, it's 8 in the morning, I think. I'm not sure. I don't know what time it is. Right, so I got my stop cut. Huh?
I haven't been to Grace.
You are depraved. He is depraved. I got my stop cut, so it's not going to break. It's not going to shatter my collar. Love in the time of cholera. Hopefully it won't. I can't find my visor thing. I don't know where it is. I looked everywhere. It's got to be here, right? It didn't walk away. It didn't go outside to take a walk. Yeah, so there's my collar, and it's still sloppy. You can see how it wants to break away. So we do one more stop cut to be safe. And you just, you're rolling the knife around here. Always do this with your knife. Right? Then you go right up to the collar because you have it dialed in perfect. You heard? You heard me? Right? So we can check it here. And that is like butter smooth. But this was the hole I was reaming. It's probably not going to fit in all the way, eh? So, right? Again, check it often because it's easy to go too far in and then, oh, if you go too far in, then you got a bush. I like bushings. Bushings are when you, I think Jose does this. I do it sometimes. I do bushings just because they look cool. So now I'm going backwards. Actually, I need nicotine. I need caffeine. This is crazy. My drug addictions. Nice and polished. This actually looks a little bit. Yeah. Right. So that is smooth. I mean, it's. When it doesn't fit, you'll get that cut. It's got a little bit of that. So then what you do, the violin maker, Victor Correo in Chile, he taught me this trick, which is a great trick. I recommend his instruments as well if you're in Chile. He makes he makes period instruments, and he has really fair prices. So, I mean, I was just listening and, but he just taught me this trick was a great one. You get friction on your peg, then you hold it up to your lips. And both sides of the peg should be warm from the friction. And so that's how you know that you got a good fitting peg. Because if one side is cold and one side is hot, you understand? Get a friction, put it to your lips. So I feel warmth here and here. So that is good. That peg is golden. It will not. So then you take a pencil, preferably not one that's in your hair. Like a really soft pencil is better. These are like ones I get from the bio store because I don't know why I buy fair trade pencils. Well, I don't know. It's just, every little bit counts. I use a wooden toothbrush. I hate plastic. But sometimes it's necessary, Oh, one of my favorite places in the world is Maine, USA, the state of Maine. I love Maine. I mean, it's cold as balls, but there's a lot of logging up there, and they have really old growth forests. But I saw this bumper sticker that said, if you're against logging, try using plastic toilet paper. I was like, ah! So anyway, I got my graphite on it. It cracks me up every time I think about it. I got my graphite. Now it's smooth as shit from a duck's ass. Yeah, that's just... It's a little bit, cut. Oh. Yeah, and you should do this slower, actually. I'm in a hurry because I need nicotine. Then you can take your peg soap and it will be really, really smooth. And you just put a little dollop on the, not a lot. Yeah, I don't know, but this is just too, let's try the next song. Oh, okay, so that's nice and good. You hear it? There's a little bit. They also get kind of broken in too. And this wood is junk. This is low altitude. This is like a unflamed cherry. I stopped using cherry necks unless it's really hard. I want to do a plum neck actually. Yeah, so that's a little, try it on it. This is a beech neck. Beech is, when I said beech, he was like, huh? Beech is excellent for, oh, that's too much. Okay, yeah, that is smooth, no chatter. So we can use that. And then what I do is I bring my pegs in and I do, oh, there's a little bit of crackle there. But beech is really good because it's really hard. And I don't know if you can see, harpsichord makers use beech for their pegboards because it's just so, I love beech. It's really hard to carve, but, so what I do is I do all four of my pegs kind of like rough. So that one's not done anyway. And then I, like one may fit better than the other, so I just, you gotta work it, And when you're ordering your pegs, always order extras because there's nothing wrong with doing 2 or 3 for the A string on a viola. Why not? It doesn't take that much time. It takes me a lot of time. Dude, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Go and get my vape from the recording studio section. The recording studio Abteilung. In case you're wondering, behind me is a labyrinth. A labyrinth of rooms. It's like that apartment in that movie, The Dreamers. Where it's just like hallways and books and there are things going on. There are, just like Chug Monkey. Did you find it? Yeah. I mean, I could get it, but...
It was standing up, but in the end I saw it.
Ah, drugs, yeah. Okay. So then, yeah, another thing is that here, this workshop is behind the labyrinth is the beach. So it's like humid here. So you do your pegs, and then the next day you'll have, so the thing is to get them done, get them fitted perfectly smooth, and get the instruments the hell out of here. Ship them. So like I said, this will go to Boston, where you get in your car. You get in your car and drive to Boston. No, I love people from Boston. No, I'm not making fun of you. Oh, but people in Maine, speaking of Maine, they call people in Boston like bear food, And like the bears know in the summer when they come because they can smell the LL Bean, like camping, this like, it's for like rich people who want to camp, they buy everything's LL Bean, their cooler, their mug, and the Mainers are like, I can't do a Maine accent. They're like, yeah, this bear food, this bear food when those people from Boston. Yeah, I need more coffee. So yeah, humidity is your enemy. And another thing that Victor taught me is I'm gonna work these. In fact, I'm gonna work them slower, and I'm gonna do probably several of them. But you're gonna cut off the end, obviously. I mark it with a pencil. And you want to cut it, I'm not going to do it now, but you want to cut it with a coping saw and very slowly, because the heat from the friction from the saw actually can kind of expand the wood. So sometimes, I love the look of pegs when they're not sticking out that far, but sometimes on antique instrument you see the ones where they're sticking out, and I would just love to do that, but yeah, so ideally you would cut it off very slowly. And then you're going to polish with, first I use a scraper, then I use sandpaper, like 320, 400, 600, 1000, and 5000, and then you get this perfectly smooth thing. So you can spend a lot of time on that. So yeah, I'm hoping that I don't have to change the fingerboard, because I like this look, this sort of blonde look, and I spent a lot of time on the inlay, so, but something with this viola, it sounds great, yeah, but what it is it's not this, oh my god, like, oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I have like 3 different categories for my instruments. One is like, wow, that sounds great. And then one is, wow, that's incredible. And then the third category is the customer just says, oh my God. And it works in any language, because I sold one locally, and she played it for the first time, and she just stopped and she goes, Dios mío. And I was like, yeah! So, yeah, that's it. What else was I going to show you? That's it. That's 30 minutes, our standard time. If you screw up, then I'll show you what to do. This is not a screw up, this is bushings. I think I showed you this before, and I would actually like to do like really wide, like I actually think it looks cool. And also the pear, this is pear, and this goes with this. Even though I don't make violins, right? Look at that freaky. Oh yeah. This is Stainer, not a Stainer, but Stainer mold, and then my own. It's kind of after Metalkova. I've been doing instruments after her because I have a crush on her, even though she's dead. She's up there. See her? She's up there. Well, I'll just show you really quick. Oh. No, I love her work, actually. Look at this like bulbous arching. That's very Stainer-esque. Anyway, so that's exactly 29 minutes. And you probably can't take any more of this terrible music, so that's it.